I'm sitting out here in a nice park. It's got a small pond for fishing. I feel like I've overcome a lot this year. I used to be just highly anxious, highly neurotic, and how's it going? Good. Anxiety, at the root of it is all just fear. Fear of other people's reactions, fear of the unknown. It's fear of what other people may think of you. For me, I prided myself on being a good person, a kind person, a very giving person, a selfless person. That was the image that I wanted. And I wanted other people to have that perception of me. And that's all from ego. And anytime that image got questioned, it was a huge hit to my ego. And there was always this need to defend that identity. And so I feel like I'm finally shifting out of that. And it just came from facing a lot of the fears, a lot of things that I was avoiding. Even making these YouTube videos, even making content creation, I had, a mild level of fear there, just putting myself out there and getting comfortable talking about anything personally that I'm going through. It's something years ago I would not have been courageous enough to do. But I've become an open book since I've let go a lot of the, opinions of what other people may think of me. I've let a lot of that go. And I've been facing a lot of fears, and so it's been uncomfortable for me, but it's helped me grow. I see fear as something to guide you in the direction that you need to go in. And what's helped me face a lot of fears is, I would say there's a good level of frustration and anger. I feel like that anger has been like the catalyst for me confronting a lot of fears that I would typically avoid. And so it's been helpful in that regard. That, along with awareness of just noticing certain patterns. I'm noticing the same situations keep popping up, and it's a lesson for me to actually do something about it. So it's a step in the right direction. Even right now, as I'm kind of speaking into this camera, still I'm still feeling like a little heaviness in the chest, but it's not so bad. It's like a muscle. You have to kind of work at it. I feel like I'm shifting into moving towards the things that are uncomfortable instead of avoiding them. Like, I've made a lifestyle out of confronting fear, basically. Anything that's causing me discomfort, I've made a lifestyle to just face those things. And so I feel like this is sort of a reset for me. And I just have to continue to do uncomfortable things, and then over time they'll become less comfortable, or rather I'll get uncomfortable with discomfort. Hi. I don't know if I said that right. I get more comfortable with the feeling of discomfort. That's another thing when it comes to fear, is learning to sit with those emotions instead of trying to cover them up, instead of trying to, make yourself feel better. I think that's the root of a lot of these addictions. If you're practicing SR, fear can impact your journey there because, again, we want to feel comfortable, we want to feel good all the time, we want to avoid the tough things, we want to avoid the hard conversations. But that is the root of like all these addictions and dopamine stimulating activities, is that we don't know how to sit with those uncomfortable emotions. So it's a lot easier to just get the dopamine from this addiction or from alcohol, drugs, or porn, or whatever. It's a lot easier to just go to those activities instead of sitting with discomfort. So I think at the root of it, we have to learn how to sit with those lower emotions. Because we're not always going to be feeling, high vibration. We're not going to always be feeling joyful and positive. We're going to have problems. We're going to go through things. We may have some days we're feeling more fearful, or we may feel guilty about some things. But lost my train of thought. I think what I was getting at is, we're not going to always feel good all the time. That's not the goal of personal development. It's learning to integrate all parts of yourself, and to not repress any emotions, specifically anger, I guess. Like, I've learned to use my anger in a healthy way, and it's helped me step more into courage. So I'm just taking it a day at a time, and I'm just slowly tackling my fears as they come up. So a lot of shifting right now, but it's shifting in a positive direction. It's all, helping me grow at the end of the day. So when it comes to fear, this is why you can't just run away from it. You can't just, you might be in a certain environment and you're afraid of, confronting someone. Whatever that fear is, like maybe you have a fear of, people thinking that maybe let's just keep it simple. You care too much what people think of you, so you hold yourself back. That fear is going to, that's an internal fear. It's going to follow you wherever you go. It doesn't matter if you go to a new town, a new city, a new country. Wherever you go, that fear is going to follow you. And the universe has a way of aligning you with certain situations so that you end up facing that same situation. It could be, in the form of a different person, but it has a way of just having you face whatever it is that you're trying to avoid. And so you have to learn how to face it. And like I said, this is not an overnight process. I've gone through months of coaching, and it's taken getting really frustrated and angry enough at my situation to actually do something about it. So I would say anger has definitely played a part of it, at least leaning into it and acknowledging that it's there and not being so reactive to it, but just learning to channel that anger and propel that's going to propel me into action. So, a lot has shifted internally for me. And, but I'm happy with my journey. I'm happy with everything that I've been facing, all the lows that really have been building me and helping me become the man that I want to be. I've gone through a lot this season, especially financially, but I've come out of it and come out of it a lot stronger. And now I have an experience I can draw back from in the event that something else happens, or if I'm ever in a financial setback or whatever it is, I'll be able to look back at this experience and say, okay, you know what, I overcame it. So we have to learn to just face things. And the more we face things, the more, discomfort we put ourselves through, the easier we'll become desensitized from that discomfort. I think a lot of us are super sensitive because we avoid things. We avoid tough conversations. We avoid speaking up. We hold ourselves back. We try to control other people's reactions if we choose to speak up. There's all this force and control. We're trying to manipulate other people, unknowingly, subconsciously we're doing it. We're not aware of it, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to manage other people's emotions and things like that, instead of just allowing them to feel how they want to feel and allowing yourself to feel how you need to feel and express yourself. And so that's the shift that I'm making. So I'm just going to take it day by day and just see what else shows up for me. Another thing about fear is, if you're ever confused about what you should be doing in life or what your purpose is, think about what your greatest fear is. Like, what would be like a 9 or a 10 for you? And when you start to face whatever that fear is, I will say your purpose will slowly start to reveal itself. Because I feel like fear, it puts these blinders on you, so you're blind to like any opportunities or any form of abundance that could be coming your way. Fear could stop you from, there's a lot of things that could be stopping you from. It could be a business idea. It could stop you from, approaching certain people. That can open doors for you to start, that passion that you've been talking about. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot of nuances to it. But my life has definitely gotten better since I've learned to face these fears.